You are listening to And If Love Remains, a unique show spotlighting people, ideas, science, culture, and art. Your host, Mike Lovett.
Hello, you are listening to that great podcast in the sky, And If Love Remains. I am your host, Mike Levitt, and I am here talking to the man, the machine, the legend, Tommy Gibbons. Man, good to have you back, brother.
Hey, man, it's good to be back.
Yeah, it's good to have you. Tommy is an extraordinary guitarist, songwriter, and music producer. You can find him all over the place, but he just came out with a new song that I'm excited to talk about. But mostly it's a good chance to say hi to my buddy Tom. It's been a while. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good. Life's been good. Studio's been busy.
Yeah.
So yeah, just
you've been working with some pretty cool artists, man. It's been fun to see you do that stuff.
Absolutely.
You're kind of a lot of people I think of you as a guitarist or as a performer, but your studio skills are fantastic. It's
thank you.
You do great work. I kind of want to get right into this tune. You sent me a link that you're putting this song out. Let's talk about it a little bit. It's a little bit different than some of the stuff, not all the stuff, but it's a little bit different than some of the stuff that you're kind of known for. But it's a great tune. Talk about the tune. What inspired you to write it? I know it's very meaningful to you. So tell me the story of this song.
So the song's called Get You Killed. It's basically about, so for me personally, I've never had like a drug addiction or alcohol addiction. Pretty much been straight edge my whole life, and I'm proud of that. But the song's basically saying it doesn't just affect those who are addicts, it affects those around you. And I just feel like there's more to life than that. I'm not, like, I understand people have vices, and look, I'm not trying to get preachy or anything. I ain't like that. But there's so much going on that I feel like instead of talking about certain things, we should be talking about this, with the whole fentanyl thing, that's killing people left and right. You've been to the Zone in downtown Phoenix.
Yeah.
Case in point.
Yeah.
I just feel like this is a topic not talked about enough.
And I think, for those of us who are musicians, so I don't know, I'm sure it's similar in other places, but it seems to have hit Phoenix pretty hard. There's been a lot of fentanyl abuse in the community, and you've seen, a lot of people pass away, man, more than they should be, very, very young. And it's sad to see. We see a lot of that, and you're right, it's something that isn't talked about enough.
No, and it sucks because unfortunately, again, I'm not trying to make this political or anything. I feel like just people in general are distracted by other things that, in my opinion, are just out of our hands. When this is something I feel like we can take control of and make it right and make it better. So look, I'm real talk. I'm not a famous musician. I'm not a big name, but if I can just make a little bit of a difference, if someone gets, if this song touches somebody where they reach out to someone that's an addict and they get them clean, anything like that, just that much of a difference would make me happy.
Right.
Because as far as, my career or whatever, it is what it is. I'm not looking to, become famous or anything like that. That's not in the cards for me right now. But if my song if I could send a message, then by all means, I'll do what I got to do.
Well, and I think it does that because I think it speaks to kind of the as I listened to it, and I kind of reflected on some of the lyrics. It really it speaks to this idea of like, I understand, like, you're trying to find something that's real. You're right, trying to, you're trying to get that real edge, that something that's absolutely solid in your life. And a lot of times people reach to, substance abuse to try to find that, and that reality just it's like it's trying to hold sand in hands. You know what I mean? Like it's just gonna slip
Right.
through.
Right. And it's and look, I've gotten some backlash for it. Some people are like, well, what do you know about addiction, or what do you know? And I'm like, look, first off, you don't know what I've been through.
Right.
So number one, shut up. And number two, you know, okay, maybe it hasn't affected me directly, but it's affected me in a way of, I've seen people around me that I care about die. I've seen people around me that I thought had bright futures, all lost all that because they got addicted.
For
That
sure.
affects me in a way too.
No, absolutely, it affects you. It's terrible to see somebody, and you, like I said, you and I both know people that, that absolutely, were great people. They, loved life and loved what they were doing, and it was cut short. And
Right. And
uh,
for anybody who wants to come at me about this, it's like, okay, well, what are you doing to help the situation? You're
right,
sitting there sipping on Starbucks and typing behind a keyboard while at least I made a song about it to bring awareness to it.
yeah,
Whether it
no,
gets a big reach or not, that's not the point. The point is, at least I'm trying.
absolutely, and hopefully, um, hopefully people will listen to it and take notice of it. Tell me about like um the musical style, the musical, like the choices that you made. Because like I said, like I've known you kind of as a heavy metal guy, as a guitar riff, specialist. You are the shredder of shredders.
Well, I mean, I guess I could say this publicly now because I really don't care what you know. But I've always been a closet. Like I really love hip hop. I've always liked pop
Mhm.
music. I just love good songs, and as a producer, as well, a good song's a good song, regardless of the genre,
Right.
and you know, with this track in particular, obviously I'm not going to make it a metal tune. I wasn't feeling a rock tune. I was feeling this is the style it needs to be.
Yeah.
Um, and look, this is how I've always treated my music, regardless of what genre I do. I'm going to do what I feel like doing, and if you want to, if people want to support it, really cool. If people don't want to support it, also really cool.
Right.
I do whatever I feel like doing. For the first time in my career, I can honestly say I'm not tied down by any management. I'm not working for somebody else. I'm not under anybody's shadow. I'm doing whatever I want to do, whether people like it or not.
Yeah. That
And that to
that gives
me,
you a lot of creative freedom, man.
absolutely. And that's no dig. That's not a diss. That's not me talking shit or talking crap. Sorry. I
It's
don't know if I
okay.
could swear. Um, it's me being real. These next few songs that I do put out, yes, there will be more. I'm being me for once.
That's cool,
You know?
man. No,
Um,
that's cool. And it's great that you're able to like get that, um, I guess, show that side of you so that you can feel more authentic. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, that's cool. And like I said, I do like it. I like the style. It kind of speaks to the song because it is kind of this, kind of hypnotic kind of feel
Right.
to it, which really kind of lends to the message that you're trying to say. And speak to those who are that might be willing to listen to it. I can't say enough good things about it. I think it's a great tune.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. um I was gonna ask you, I mean, I'm kind of excited to hear that you can have some new tunes come out too soon.
Yeah.
That's
I
exciting,
mean,
man.
I mean, at this point in my career, my main goal is, I've been doing a lot more producing. I don't really perform anymore.
Hmm.
Um, I've done a lot of cool stuff within my career.
Yeah.
I got to play some big shows. I got to be with some really cool bands. Um, like anything in life, I've had ups and I've had quite a bit of downs. My biggest goal is to honestly be one of the good guys in the music industry. Show people that guide people in the right direction, you know. And I'm only hoping that, like, you know, that gets out there, you know, like
Yeah.
when you work with me, you're not just getting a good product song wise, you're gonna get, you know, I want to try and coach bands, coach artists how to promote themselves, you know, use social media the right way, you know, what are scams, what aren't, you know.
Yeah, I know that's so important because right now it's, you know, it's really easy to fall into the trap of, you know, getting signed, or, you know, people's dreams need to be like turned in a different direction than it has been in the past. And you know, this um you know, the idea as a musician that you can kind of go out, you know, get found, and then you know, kind of like let somebody else kind of create this career for you is a myth. And it probably always has been a myth, but it's always been kind of like a dream for a lot of people. And the reality is, like, you've got to go and create your own audience, your own
Right.
deal.
Well, I think what people misunderstand is, you know, you just because you're really good at something, you're going to get discovered and you're going to take off. That's
Right.
not the case. You know, it takes a lot of hard work, dedication, and time. And I know that's cliche. Everyone says that same answer, but there's a reason why it's cliche. It's the
Yeah.
truth. You know, this stuff doesn't happen overnight. I think the biggest difference now is there's hope as an independent artist, though.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to rely on labels and management as much. You know, there's hope because of social media. If you promote yourself right, and if you stay on top of it, you stay consistent, eventually enough people are going to hear it.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
and what I love about what you're saying is, like, it does put things back into your own hands. Like, you're not dependent on somebody else if you don't want to. And you can use these other, you know, you can use other agencies or other people to help support what you're doing, but it's not the other way around. You're not there to support a label, they're there to support you. You know what I mean?
absolutely, absolutely, and that is the best part. Is you know, I could change my mind tomorrow and just say, nah, never mind, I don't want to do this now,
Right.
and I have that right to do that. You know, it's just now, and I think people will pick up on that too. Like pick up, like, you know, like I'm being way more genuine with my content. I'm being a lot more upfront, and they'll be more attached to it because it is real. And I'm not saying like, look, my other stuff wasn't, but
Right.
I was always kind of under a magnifying glass in a sense. Like, you know, oh, I got to make sure that the chorus is really catchy and it's going to appeal to this audience, that audience. And look, you know, that's obviously that is a key to a good song, is a good hook. But I'm no longer like just, oh, you should do this style or you got to do this. I'm doing whatever I feel like doing.
Right, right. No, I think it's important, like I said, to like find your authentic self, because if you're, you know, if you're doing what other people are expecting you to do, then I've always said a true artist, what makes a true artist is somebody who can tell the truth no matter what through the art form that they're using. And you can't tell the truth unless you're being authentic to yourself. And that's
Of
I
course.
think, like, when you hear like a Bob Dylan tune, or you hear, you know, some of the great artists out there, and you're like, well, what, I mean, you can't say the chord progression was great. You can't say, like, because it's the same thing. You can't say like the even
Right.
that stuff was catchy, but what it did do is it spoke to a lot of people, because, or even this new song that's out there now, that Richmond, north of Richmond, like, it's a, you know, as a song, like if I'm analyzing it as a song, it's a cool song. It fits a genre. It's got a, you know, decent melody, but that's not what's connecting to people. And the same with Bob Dylan, same with all these artists. It's the message and it's the
Of
authenticity that
course.
connects to people, with people.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I'm excited to see. I'm starting to see. You know, I'm not. And again, like you said, I don't think you were an inauthentic Tommy Gibbons before, but I think you're expanding your universe, and I think that's a good thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's cool. Yeah. So when do you think you'll have some more, you know, music coming out? I mean, I don't want to like put you on the spot, but I'm just,
You know, just follow
when
me,
it,
keep an eye out throughout the year, you know. Because like I said, at the end of the day, I want to do what I'm gonna do.
yeah,
You know, like,
I
you
like,
know, maybe I drop something in a couple months. Maybe I won't ever drop anything again. It's just depending on what mood I'm in and how things are going.
dude, that's
But
good,
at the end of
man.
the day, it's gonna be real. You
Yeah,
know, I'm not gonna come on here and tell people like, oh yeah, November, new shit dropping, because I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do, because again, this is on my time now. And my time, I value my time more than ever because now I'm engaged. I have a fiance. I have, I have a son. I have two amazing daughters that have come into my life. And right now that takes top priority over everything.
Absolutely.
Anything after that, it will come. It'll, just, if people dig this new song and they want more, just wait.
Yeah. And here's the cool thing about where, I mean, I feel like I am in my life and you are in your life. Like, when you're young and you feel like you got to like do everything right now, and you got to like, man, if I don't do this by this time, like I'm a failure and all that stuff. And you get to a point where you realize that, like, dude, you're always young, you're always like available, and things will come to you at the right time, when God or the universe, when they put that in front of you and they put that in your brain and that inspiration hits, like that's when it's the right time. So
Absolutely.
dude, I'm so excited for you and your family. Like, that's just exciting.
Thank you.
Mean, that's the biggest thing is that Tommy Gibbons, the man's doing well. Tommy Gibbons, the musician, will come.
Right.
So that's good to hear. So how has the song been doing? It dropped Friday, is that right? It dropped down on Friday.
Yeah,
And
yep, it dropped Friday. On TikTok, it's done very well.
good.
I think the video that I posted the day of the release got like 27,000 views. It was pretty gnarly. And again, I'm just gonna keep working at it, posting it and getting my message across. That's the thing that's most important, is getting this message across. How
Yeah.
I do, how much money I make off this thing, that doesn't mean anything to me because it's not what this is about. My main thing is to get this message across. And if I can just save one life, that would be perfect.
I was reading about how people, especially, and I have a kind of a relationship to this because some of the work that I've been helping out with, but in the homeless community, man, where they're taking fentanyl, and then they're taking meth just to stay awake so they can enjoy the high of the fentanyl, and that's just, that's a destructive road, man. And again, like, it's not about preaching, it's about like, man, your life is worth more than that. It's worth more than the high. It really is.
Yeah, right. And it's unfortunate because, like, I won't mention names. I had someone reach out to me and they saw like the teaser videos and stuff and said, "Hey man, that really means a lot that you're talking about this because, this person has battled addiction and won." But it's like it's hard because they're almost embarrassed to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
I want to provide a platform where they're not embarrassed to talk about it.
That's great.
I've exposed myself when it comes to some of my previous releases of problems I had. And that is the benefit. We as musicians are so privileged and we don't even realize it. And I hate using that word, but it's the truth. Like,
Yeah.
we are the most privileged people because we have a platform where we can express our emotions in a way that other people look at it as like, oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Where some people, majority of the people don't have that.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And a lot of times through your music, through your lyrics, you can say things that people feel, but they don't quite know how to say yet.
Or they're afraid to say.
Or they're afraid to say. Yeah, absolutely. Dude, that's great. Well, man, best of luck to you. Best of luck to the tune. And like, if people want to keep following you, want to kind of, as things either do or don't come out, what's the best way for people to reach out and follow you?
Super Shredder Tommy on TikTok, and of course I have Facebook and Instagram, but been pushing TikTok pretty hard.
Good.
And I know like all like the boomers that watch it, be like, oh no, don't do that. But I in all reality, I feel like as far as marketing yourself and pushing your music, this is a tip for everybody. I think it's incredible.
I agree. I've been using TikTok for the show, and I have gotten more views on TikTok than I think just about any other platform until recently. Like YouTube is kind of built up, but it's so easy. People just look at it and they're like, oh, it's just there.
Mm-hmm.
It's
absolutely
incredible. So yeah, good tip. Tommy, let's do this again.
Absolutely. I'm always down. I'm always down.
That'd be great, man. And hey, by the way, and I'm gonna say this, officially, but you already know this. If you ever need a keyboardist brother to come in and do a session or two, I'm your guy.
Absolutely.
All right, love you, man. Have a great one. We'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good, brother.
All right, you guys are all listening to And If Love Remains. Take care.
Mike is gone.
You are listening to And If Love Remains.
Gone but not forgotten.
First of 23 installments requested by Dr. Levitt. Trying to be in compliance here because we're taking him and that whole organization